Hello everybody, 'tis I, the Rumpled One. This is going to be a video response to Demcad. He put a question out there. If you saw somebody doing something bad in a, stuff hits the fan situation, would you do anything about it? Would you step in, or would you just walk away, run away, avoid the situation? Now, it's interesting because it doesn't even have to be a stuff hits the fan situation. What about in everyday life? If you see somebody doing something bad, do you step in or do you kind of mind your own business? Now, things can get kind of fuzzy. I remember back in junior high school, there was a question posed to us. If you're in the grocery store and you see somebody stealing, do you report them? And of course, being junior high school kids, nobody wants to be a rat, so the answer was no. And so then the teacher says, well, what if you go out that grocery store and you turn the corner and that same person puts a gun to your head and robs you? Now, will you change your answer? Something to think about. If you see a man attacking a woman, do you jump in? Is that something you do? Now, to me, it's kind of a really interesting question because, see, there's groups of people and there's individuals, but you see, a group is made up of individuals. The reason I bring that up is there was talk, what should, the U.S. do with, all the atrocities that are being committed in other countries? The slaughter, the genocide. Should we step in? Or should we just mind our own business? It's one of those things that's hard to say. I mean, it's one of those things where, do you take care of your own backyard first? Do you clean up your own backyard and take care of your own? Or do you go across the fence to your neighbor's yard and tell him to clean up his mess? I mean, do you lead by example? Or do you force your will upon somebody else through brute force, power, strength? It's tough questions. Do I have the answer? No, I can only answer for myself. I can't answer for you. I can't answer for the world or the country, because it's individual. It's not really a right or a wrong. It's just a situation and what you do about it. But it's something that you should consider, because there may come a time, and it might not be in the too distant future, where you're going to have to decide, do you step in or do you ignore it? Do you take action or do you back away? I mean, if there's, say, a roving gang coming down the street, breaking car windows, what do? You call 911, but we all know what that result's going to be. By the time they get there, all the damage has been done. I mean, what would you do? Would you protect your family, maybe escape out the back door so no harm comes to them? Or maybe if you have some weapons, do you start planking them off one by one, get in a firefight, and hope some neighbors join in? Tough questions. It's the world's not so nice at times, but that's the reality. There's people who think nobody should own guns, but there are people who do own guns. So whether or not they've got those guns legally, whether or not they're legally possessed them, that's a side issue. The reality is they have them. And if they have them, do you want them? I know I do. There's no question. No question. But the main point is what would you do in that situation? Of course, it depends. I mean, that's going to be the first response, because it depends. Do you feel that you're in danger? Because if you don't, then you might take action. Do you feel if you take action, you're going to be successful and put an end to the wrongdoing? If you think you have a chance to do that, you might take action. But if you think it's a coin toss, or you think you're outnumbered, then you might want to back away. Tough questions, situational. What do you do? Something to think about, something to ponder, something to contemplate. there is no right or wrong answer. But once again, it's one of those things about preparing your mind ahead of time. So when you're faced with the situation, there's no time to think, so you don't think, you react. You act, you react. You've already decided what you're going to do ahead of time. Now, of course, there could be, numerous situations, but you can usually categorize them and say, if something in this category happens, this is my first course of action, and this is plan B. Always have to have a plan B. I think I've done a video about plan B. Always need plan B. But it just seems the way things are going, the world is not getting any nicer. It's not getting any kinder or gentler. In fact, it's getting pretty nasty. And I think a response is, as a country, I think we need to get leaner and meaner. We need to lean out, cut out the waste, and we need to take care of our own. Sometimes that's going to mean tough love. Sometimes it's going to be putting people to work who aren't working. They're just coming along for a free ride. Well, about time for the free ride to end. Across the board. Doesn't matter, race, gender, any of that stuff. Free ride needs to be over with, because if we don't, then we're going to wind up like Greece. It's not a question of if we keep going the way we go. It's a question of when. We're going to need some big changes in a very short amount of time if we're going to turn this around. Back to the main point, though, is what do you do when you see some people doing some things they shouldn't be doing? Do you get involved, or do you back away? It's up to you. But if you fail to prepare today, you're preparing to fail tomorrow.